Shalom and good day all. This is Tehillim29 for an indie comic review covering the first week of November. And for this comic review, I will be reviewing The Harbinger, which has Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, Rossi Rodriguez, Rico Lorenzi, and is that Hassan? I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'll give it a go anyway. Otsman Eharu. Sorry if I butchered it, but I've got a comic review. So moving into first things first, in regards to this comic review, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside the story? Surprisingly it does, but I feel the cover lacks a little bit as well, and you'll soon see that when I actually cover the art. So for this cover, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the internal art, which I'll show you some art around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. And I'll give you the art rating before I move on to the story rating. Now, starting off with some of the art around the beginning, and as we start this off, we also get the chapter title. Sounds like a bit of a stupid title name, to be honest. But of course we've got Peter Stanchek here, and a lot of thought bubbles happening here. Now time we move around the middle of the story, and of course we've got the silhouette here of Peter Stanchek and a couple of other people who we got no idea who they are. And last but not least, art towards the end of the story, to which Peter Stanchek meets a character. For the internal art, I found that it also somewhat matched the cover art. Of course, there were some places where it was really nice, other places where it just didn't quite gel. And it also makes you wonder why the artist is actually doing it in these colours. To which I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Moving on to the story. As you know, there are certain things that I personally enjoy in my storytelling. Let's ask about the first one. Did we get any indication of what time or times this takes place? None at all. Very disappointing. And if Colin Kelly is meant to be one of their best writers at a Valiant, he needs to up his game. References, considering how long the character of Peter Stanchek has been around in the Valiant universe, I feel that it probably wouldn't have hurt to have included some comic references. Maybe even give a bit of a location as to when this takes place in the Valiant universe. Moving on to the next thing, location. About the only location that I got in this was one by the name of Chicago. It wasn't very clear, but it was made out through some of the discussion that was happening on the street. but it still would have been nice to have a bit of a clear example as to some of the locations to where where Peter Stanchek was going to in Chicago. Um, just to give the reader more of a outlook and an outline of some of the locations where he's traveling to. That was missing from this story. The cast of characters consisting of Peter Stanchek, someone he meets by the name of Sissy, but spelt Cici. We also encounter a group who called themselves The Warning. And last but not least, we end up encountering someone at the end called Renegade. For this, I gave the story an overall 6.5 out of 10. Slightly disappointed. I thought this was going to be as good as some of their older stories, but it's really, really lacking. I think if I were to pick this up, it's probably going to be in trade, not in singles. Well, until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.